Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sid. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Sid_Dwyer. And in today's video, I want to talk about the reality TV show star Mama June, as well as touch on the people that orbit her life, like her kids and her partners. And this is a video that I've wanted to make for quite some time now. Keeping up to date with this family's TV shows has kind of been my guilty pleasure for the last decade, so I am kind of excited to talk about this. So I first want to talk about June's early life before reality TV. She was born in McIntyre, Georgia to mother Sandra Hundley and Marvin Shannon, who divorced when she was just 2 years old. When her parents divorced, she lived with her mother, and her mother would regularly have new boyfriends and often be pretty absent from the household. June also has 5 other siblings, but because of her fractured household and an absent mother from a very young age, it was her older sister Joanne, also known as Dodo, who looked after her the most.
I raised June most of her life because my mother went from man to man to man.
Despite her sister doing the best that she couldn't prevent that as June grew older, that multiple older men would prey upon her. She was often groomed by adults when she was a teenager, and she dated some of them. This resulted in June becoming pregnant with her daughter Anna at the age of 14. By the time that she knew she was pregnant, she had already broken up with Anna's father, Daniel Dunn, and before she got the chance to tell him that she was pregnant, he went to jail for theft. So there was no potential of him providing any sort of help. And around this time, she also dropped out of high school, so there was no option of any teachers potentially providing her with any help. So other than any support that her sister was able to provide her, she was pretty much fending for herself. This caused June to consider letting her aunt and uncle adopt Anna, but for whatever reason, that just never came to fruition. Instead, June's mother, who may have been absent in June's life, decided to raise Anna. While her mother may have stepped up to look after Anna, June was still being ignored. She had childhood cataracts that went untreated, which affected her sight pretty badly because now several years later, she's been declared as legally blind. So after she gave birth and her mother took in Anna, she moved into a trailer with a different man. And this became a pretty regular thing for June. Following in the steps of her mother, she would often move around a lot and get involved with a lot of different men. Usually these men had a criminal background. She then got pregnant with her second daughter, Jessica, at the age of 17. Then she got pregnant with her daughter, Lauryn, a few years later at the age of 21. Then she had her youngest daughter, Alana, at the age of 26. She ultimately settled down with Alana's father, Mike Thompson, in McIntyre, Georgia. This is where June, Jessica, Lauryn, Alana, and sometimes Anna all lived. During this time, there were still some bumps in the road, like her getting arrested in 2008 for stealing, only for that charge to be dismissed the same day. But for the most part, she was able to focus on her love of couponing and her kids. In particular, Alana, because she started entering her in pageants at the age of 6 years old. Because that is how this family got their start on reality TV. Because of Alana doing pageants, they scored an appearance on the TLC show Toddlers and Tiaras. And that show pretty much gave us a behind-the-scenes look of the child pageantry world, as well as some of the questionable antics from the parents who put their kids in these pageants. June and Alana first appeared together in 2012, and they were instantly TV gold. Alana would often make amusing remarks, one of them being, "A dollar make me holler, honey boo boo."
A dollar make me holler, honey boo boo.
Which is where her nickname Honey Boo Boo came from. On this show, we were also introduced to a concoction known as go-go juice.
A lot of pageant moms and people know what this special juice is. Everybody has their different concoctions.
It was a mixture of Mountain Dew and Red Bull that was given to Alana before pageants to give her enough energy to compete. Despite there being some concern for Alana's health and some people just being generally repulsed by this family, TLC knew that this was something that people would want to see more of. They wanted to make a reality TV show around this family, And that is what they did. But first I want to talk about today's sponsor, Atlas VPN. VPNs basically create an encrypted tunnel between you and the internet, which keeps all of your data private and your online identity hidden. And that is something everyone who uses the internet should think about. I'm sure you've all been concerned at one point or another about signing up to a certain website or clicking on a certain link because you're worried about people stealing your personal information. But with Atlas VPN, you don't need to worry about that. It keeps all of your information safe and secure. And Atlas VPN is the biggest help to me when it comes to making my videos. While I'm doing research for my videos, so many things just so happen to be geo-blocked. But with a couple of clicks, I'm able to change my virtual location to a country where a certain article or video isn't blocked. And I'm sure getting geo-blocked is something that we've all experienced at one point or another. So having Atlas VPN makes it so much easier to navigate the internet. But aside from all of the safety and convenience benefits, one of my favorite things to use Atlas VPN for is on streaming services. By switching my virtual location on a streaming service such as Netflix, I'm able to get a whole bunch of other movies and TV shows that are available in other countries but aren't available in my home country, Australia. So it's awesome. Right now, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. It means you get a 3-year subscription at just $1.99 a month, with a 30-day money-back guarantee. This deal isn't going to be forever, so get it while you can by clicking the link at the top of the description box. Okay, so now back to Mama June. The show she and her family signed up for was called Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. It was a pretty big hit for TLC, and it averaged 2.4 million viewers every episode. And for the most part, each episode was just filled with some light-hearted fun with a hillbilly edge to it. We were introduced to something known as the Redneck Games, which included events such as bobbing for pig's feet and belly flopping into mud.
The Redneck Game is an annual event here in Georgia. It's all about Southern pride, similar to the Olympics, but with a lot of missing teeth and a lot of butt cracks showing.
We also learned about some food staples in their house, like Chickadee.
Alana, how you tell if Chickadee's done?
When you throw it up on the wall and it sticks.
And there were all sorts of shenanigans like that. There weren't really any plot lines for this show like there was for another reality show that they were going to be a part of, which I'll get to later. There weren't really cliffhangers at the end of every episode or significant character arcs. It just kind of showcased what this family got up to. So now I'm going to go over the family members and talk about some significant moments from them. So Mama June is the matriarch of the family, and even though the show was named after Honey Boo Boo, it was really Mama June who was the main character of the show. And a lot of June's, I guess, quirks were put on display on this show. Everyone in this family shared some kind of unique vocabulary, and it seems to have originated with June.
We'll have different names for different parts. I mean, you got tatas, you got a biscuit.
The gluteus maximus.
Yeah. You got the Fruit Loop, you got the Jiggle Jaggle, Ting Tangs, Weed Whackers, Tic Tacs, Bungalow, which is a butthole. So we'll have different names for different parts.
Also, her foot got injured by getting run over by a forklift several years before the filming of the show, and as a result, she always wore socks. Even her kids didn't know what the damage to her foot looked like. So one day when they were at the pool, her kids pressured her into taking her socks off. Also, I'm going to show what they deemed as her forklift foot, so viewer discretion is advised. I'm putting a timer on the screen so you'll know when to look away or skip ahead. So yeah, she reveals what her foot looks like, and it does look kind of bad. And to this day, I still wonder if the bugs that are crawling in and out of her toe are superimposed, or if that's actually what was happening down there. She also had a bit of a sneezing problem. A recurring joke, I guess, was that she'd be in the middle of an interview and then she'd all of a sudden have a sneezing fit.
Thought we had a bingo, but we really... we go! Here we go! Here we go!
She also had a fear of mayonnaise, and her kids would often try and scare her with it.
But the girls, they think it's funny to actually torture me with it, but to me, it's not funny at all. I cannot stand mayonnaise.
But aside from all of those shenanigans, one thing was very clear, and that was that June was very family focused.
Whatever you do with your kids, make your kids number one. No man, no woman, nothing. Your kids are number one. Over anybody. Priority, yes, a priority.
When her family wasn't being criticized for being rednecks or gross, one thing that the public often commended June for doing was setting money aside from the show for her kids' futures. I've heard differing accounts of how much this family was making per episode of the show, but supposedly they were making $50,000 per episode, which amounted to almost $3 million by the time this show ended. And this money was evenly divided and put into trust funds for the daughters to access when they turned 21. So now on to Alana, also known as Honey Boo Boo. So she was the one who drew everyone into the show to begin with, mainly because of her over-the-top antics and her many quotable moments. And basically, her main personality trait was her sassiness.
Y'all think y'all all that in a pack of crackers, but y'all not. You know that. You ain't no sassy to me.
To the point where she was unfortunately mocked for it in an episode of Family Guy.
This my scar, 'cause I got a pig heart. My scar makes me sassy, child.
But aside from that, there's not too much else to say about Alana. Being a kid, she obviously didn't have a whole bunch of hobbies or history behind her, but nonetheless, she still kept viewers pretty intrigued. Okay, so now I want to talk about Lauryn, also known as Pumpkin. She is June's second youngest daughter and one of the biggest standouts of the show. We already got a pretty clear understanding of Sugar Bear, Alana, and Mama June in Toddlers and Tiaras, but coming into this show, Pumpkin was a pretty big unknown, but Alana did refer to her as the craziest sister.
Three sisters, Pumpkin's the craziest.
But apparently the reason why she's so crazy is because she got her brain fried when she was struck by lightning.
Pumpkin got struck by lightning while she was playing a game system. It was storming, it started lightning, the lightning hit the house, the game system was plugged up, the lightning conducted, and zapped. She was electrocuted. Pumpkin's never been the same, she just got her brain fried.
Another moment that stood out for her was when she came out as bisexual on the show.
Do I like girls? Check. Do I like boys? Check. I mean, do I like both of them equally? Check.
We're very open about the gay and lesbian thing, so for us, it doesn't matter. I mean, no matter what, I mean, I'm going to be her parent and I'm going to support her 100%.
Mom, why don't you give me like an apple or something now?
You get yourself up and get your own apple. I mean, I'll support you about liking a guy and a girl, but I'm not supporting your food habit.
I feel like I haven't said too much about her, but she was definitely a reason why people kept tuning into the show just as much as June and Alana. Okay, so now on to Anna, also known as Chickadee. I feel like TLC forced some of the kids to adopt nicknames if they didn't have one already, because despite being titled as Chickadee, no one really called her that. But anyways, Anna actually wasn't living with June and the rest of her family until they started filming the show. As you know, Anna was raised by June's mother, and that's where she was living until she heard that June was going to be in a new reality show. So she only moved back in with June for the filming of the show. So at first, Anna is pregnant, and towards the end of season 1, she gives birth to a baby girl named Caitlin. And Caitlin was born with an extra thumb.
Oh, look. Oh, look. Look at Baba's hand. Look.
Just your hand. It was strange seeing the x-ray because I never seen like of a hand, especially Caitlin's hand, and looking that way the thumb looks and it's connected to that big old femur bone.
At first, she wasn't too concerned about it, but as Caitlin started to get older, Anna got concerned about bullies, so she decided to get it removed. Anna later gets a boyfriend named Michael, who gets along with Caitlin and the rest of her family. So they decide to get married, and the wedding takes place in the last episode of season 4, which kind of turns out to be the last season ever. Okay, so now I want to talk about June's second oldest daughter, Jessica, also known as Chubbs, and she's also got a nickname that doesn't really stick. And Jessica was one of the more lower-key members of the family, not as low-key as Sugar Bear Bear, but still pretty chill. And she was also pretty responsible. Mama June often commended Jessica for doing more around the house than her other sisters. She was also pretty school-oriented. After the family got into a car crash, she was the first one to return to school. And that dedication paid off because she was the first member of her family to go to college. So now on to Mike, also known as Sugar Bear. And he's pretty quiet. We don't get a whole lot of insight of how he's thinking and feeling about certain things. He usually just keeps to himself, but the little that we do know about him is that he likes to go four-wheeling and go fishing. We were also introduced to his brother Lee through the show.
I met him through a good mutual friend of mine.
A grinder.
The nickname they gave him was Poodle because, according to them, poodles look like gay dogs, so they call him Poodle. And like a good gunkle, Poodle gets along with the kids pretty well. And back to Sugar Bear, he decides to propose to June. And this is actually the third time that he's proposed to June, and it is also the third time that he has been rejected by June. And she says that she rejected him because the M word scares her. She also says that he's already been through 2 marriages and they haven't worked, so she doesn't want to kind of bring that upon their relationship. But June compromises with Sugar Bear, and instead of getting married, they decide to have a commitment ceremony. They get all dressed up, they exchange vows. Alana is a flower girl and her other daughters are the bridesmaids, but June and Sugar Bear don't stay committed. And that leads me to the cancellation of the show. Even with a bunch of episodes filmed and ready to go for season 5 of Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, TLC still cancelled it. There was a lot of controversy around the end of the show, but the beginning of the end all started with this little guy here, Sugar Bear. The official cancellation was because of something entirely different, but it was Sugar Bear who kind of set off a chain of events. So basically, June discovered that Sugar Bear had a dating profile on the dating website Plenty of Fish. His username was Georgia Fighter 31054, where he was listed as a 42-year-old man wanting a relationship. On his dating profile, he said, "Hello, I love to hunt fish and ride four-wheelers and have a good time. I like spending time at home watching movies, cuddling, spending time with family. I love muddy bogs and love to ride in the mud. I like football and baseball." He said his perfect first date would be a quiet romantic dinner, go to the movies, or go out dancing and just have fun, spend quiet time at home, and get to know you better. Could even have a cookout and invite friends over. After the creation of that dating profile, he cheated on her multiple times. One of the biggest issues for June was that he cheated on her with one of their friends that they had gone to numerous dinners with, and during this time he also explored his sexuality and cheated on her with men as well. At the time that the news broke that he cheated on June, he denied all of the claims.
She's told some people, supposedly anyway, that you've been messing around on the dating websites and stuff. Not you? You definitely didn't do that.
And then June released this statement: "Sugar Bear and I have decided to take some time apart to figure out some things in our relationship." At this point, they had already filmed season 5A of Here Comes Honey Boo Boo and were on break before filming season 5B. So half of the season had already been filmed. And during that break period is when everything pretty much blew up. And that is when she also started to move out of Sugar Bear's house, taking the kids with her. And the producers were even making plans for the next part of the show. They planned on pivoting and making Here Comes Honey Boo Boo more of a dating show for June. They didn't want her to appear too affected by Sugar Bear cheating on her. They still wanted her to be viewed as the strong matriarch of the family. But before those ideas came to life, the show was cancelled. And that was because after her breakup with Sugar Bear, she met up with one of her ex-lovers, Mark McDaniel, who had spent time in prison in June 2004 for aggravated child molestation. And to make matters worse, the reason why he went to jail was because he molested June's daughter, Anna. Pictures of June looking at a house and laying in a hotel room bed surfaced, and a common conclusion that was drawn from seeing those pictures was that she was dating him again. At the time, TLC issued a statement saying, "We are very concerned about this new information and are reassessing the future of the series." June then made a statement on her Facebook page. "It isn't true, I promise. My kids are #1 priority over everything else, and I would never put them in danger, period. Over this or anything else. They are my life. This is my past. I left him 10 years ago for it, and I wouldn't go back." But regardless of what June said, TLC and the majority of the public were not interested. There was nothing that could be done to stop Here Comes Honey Boo Boo from getting cancelled. Afterward, June appeared on Dr. Phil. On there, she talked about how she allegedly only saw Mark on 2 occasions. One was completely by coincidence, where they didn't even talk or interact at all, and the other one was because Pumpkin wanted to ask him some questions. He had actually raised Pumpkin from the age of 2 months old to 6 years old, and she wanted to know why he left.
She has open questions that she wanted to know. Why did he leave when she was 5 years old? Why did this happen? Why did that happen? It was a 10-minute conversation that she had with him, and she got her answers. That book is closed.
She also tried to say that the other time she was pictured with Mark, which was in a hotel room bed, was photoshopped.
You say this picture's photoshopped?
Yes.
You know whether you were in that bed or not. You don't need to talk about whether it was photoshopped or not. You know whether...
Then after June's appearance on Dr. Phil, Anna and her grandmother wanted to give their take on what happened.
You said she was lying about seeing Mark, that she just ran into him coincidentally 2 times.
Yeah, because pictures don't lie.
Did she just bold-faced look me in the eye and lie to me?
Yes, sir.
And then Anna's step-uncle Poodle also chimed in.
With your own eyes, have seen Alana curled up in bed with Mark?
And June, yes. They were both in the bed.
Where?
North Carolina. We went up there that same week.
And he actually wanted to get temporary custody of Alana. According to TMZ, he started researching the ground rules for winning temporary custody, and him and his fiancée also started looking for a bigger apartment with a spare bedroom. Also, he said that they weren't going to try and get permanent custody of Alana because they would like to see Sugar Bear, her father, get permanent custody of her when he was back on his feet financially. And apparently he was also working on a pitch for producers about a reality show that would see Alana, Sugar Bear, and him move to New York City. Nothing ever came of all of that, and it pretty much just gave June and even Pumpkin a headache, and based on Pumpkin's Instagram post about the situation, it gave her more of a headache than anyone else. But things only continued to get worse after that. About 8 months later, Anna sued June. Anna claimed that she was owed over $200,000 and her daughter was owed almost $100,000 from their appearances on the TV show. We don't know for sure of what the outcome of that situation was, but this is what June had to say about it in an interview with E.T.
Well, we went through court. That's like personal matters. So I don't, a lot of stuff, like, unfortunately, I'm not on the drama train like her and Sugar Bear and my mom and my sister-in-law. I choose to stay off on my own train that's not drama and let them have the drama. So that's personal business, and it was all like settled, so that's behind closed doors.
And that is pretty much where the problems ended. But you know how I said that they already had half of season 5 filmed and ready to go? Well, 3 years after the cancellation in April 2017, they decided to release 4 of the episodes as a 2-hour special titled Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, The Lost Episodes. Also, since we don't get a future appearance from Anna on any other TV show like we do all of the other family members, I thought I would give a bit of an update on what Anna is up to these days. So right off the heels of the drama that happened between her and June, Pumpkin spoke out against Anna. She said that she didn't have a relationship with Anna and she wasn't happy that Anna didn't believe their mum.
The thing is if we're supposed to be your family, then why would you go about what someone else says and you would just listen to them and not listen to what your mama has to say?
Then in December 2015, she gave birth to her second child. Then a couple of years later, in 2017, she split from her husband Michael, who she married on the show. After that, she moved in with her ex-stepfather Sugar Bear and his girlfriend Jennifer, of all people. They were actually filming another reality show at that time, but Anna never made an appearance. And then in 2018, June addressed Anna in an interview with E.T., where she calls her selfish.
Anna has some struggles that she needs to deal with herself and needs to stop being, I'm not trying to mean stop being so selfish, and it's not all about her.
Are you hopeful that things with Anna will get better? What needs to happen?
You know, honestly, Anna needs to grow up and realize that it's not all about her all the time, and, you know, that's just real.
And then in 2019, Anna finds love again, so she moves out of Sugar Bear's house and moves in with her new partner, along with her 2 kids. In early 2020, she underwent over $100,000 worth of plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures. She got lipo, a tummy tuck, and veneers. She also got her hair and makeup done, as well as eyebrow shaping. Then after the makeover, during the pandemic, she got a job at Walmart. And the next thing that I'm going to talk about doesn't have a whole lot to do with Anna, but I thought it was interesting. In March 2021, Jessica, who is June's second oldest daughter, does an interview with WeTV where she says that she is actually June's oldest daughter. But as we know, Anna is the oldest daughter.
Well, hey guys, my name's Jessica and I'm June's oldest daughter.
I couldn't find out what that Anna erasure was about, but a couple months later in June 2021, for the first time in several years, June and all 4 of her daughters were in the same space together, and that was for Pumpkin's baby shower. So I guess they are still acknowledging the existence of the actual oldest daughter, despite that interview suggesting otherwise. But anyways, June spoke to Page 6 about her daughters at the baby shower. I haven't seen all the girls together at once because the relationship with Anna has always been difficult because of my mother. I wanted to be in the right frame of mind to be able to deal with Anna, as it's always been a touchy subject. And then in August of this year, Anna did a TikTok battle with June, which seemed pretty chill, so they seem to be on good terms now. So yeah, that's basically where things are at with Anna now. And 3 years after the cancellation of Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, Mama June and some of her family decided to sign up for another reality show called Mama June From Not to Hot. And the first season pretty much focused on June's weight loss journey using surgery and exercise. Sugar Bear also returned to this show along with his girlfriend at the time, Jennifer. And Jennifer was definitely positioned as the villain of the show. She has it out for June from the get-go. She often criticizes June's weight loss journey and gets on her nerves by trying to arrange some kind of visitations between Sugar Bear and Alana, which from the outside looking in may seem pretty nice that she's trying to make sure that Sugar Bear and Alana have a good father-daughter relationship, but for reasons that I will get into a little bit later, it will become very clear that she's only doing it to get on June's nerves. And towards the end of season 1, Jennifer and Sugar Bear get married. Pumpkin is also back for the show, and at the start she kind of just serves as a support system to Mama June when she's going through her weight loss journey. She has a boyfriend now who she becomes pregnant to at the age of 17. Then at the end of season 2, they get married in Vegas. In the second season, we get introduced to Gino, June's new boyfriend. At first, Alana and Pumpkin really like Gino, but especially Alana, she really bonds with him. She always turned to him for support, and there was one point in the show when they were trying to organize visitations between Alana and Sugar Bear, and Alana is asked who she would like to supervise these visitations, and she says that she wants Gino to supervise these visitations. Pumpkin also gives Gino a shout out in her wedding speech.
I want to thank Gino for being there, not only as my mama's boyfriend, but it's my stepdad. You've really helped us out a lot. You've always been there when we need you the most.
All in all, they really think that June has found the one. In season 2, Jennifer goes on a weight loss journey of her own, but she's somewhat conflicted because Sugar Bear admittedly prefers bigger women, so she's kind of concerned about Sugar Bear leaving her if she starts to lose some weight.
But telling Mike about the weight loss surgery, it scares me because I have a lot to lose. Mike likes bigger women. He might not like me if I lose all this weight. I want to get healthy, but I don't want to lose my husband.
But despite her mind being preoccupied with those sorts of things, she still makes time to disrupt June's life. Her and Gino start to communicate, and when they go to Vegas for Pumpkin's wedding, her and Gino play poker together, and this obviously stirs up some drama. Also, I really want to mention that this is the most I've ever felt a reality show being scripted. Like at one point, June is trying on a dress for a pageant, and then her rival walks in wearing the same dress, saying she looks better than June.
That is adorable on you.
I think it looks way better on me.
Like, it is embarrassingly obvious how scripted that is. But that is why this is my guilty pleasure. So in season 3, some cracks start to appear in June and Gino's relationship. Jennifer has more surgeries and she's branded as a June wannabe. By this point, Pumpkin and Josh have had their child, and Alana appears on the kids' version of Dancing with the Stars. But it's later revealed that June and Gino's relationship drama is rooted in drug abuse and because Gino has been cheating on her. June is also having all of these health scares, like having a minor stroke and losing a tooth, and all the while Gino is stealing thousands of dollars from her. But June does not care and she sticks by her man. June becomes more distant from her family and Josh and Pumpkin have to take Alana in. At the end of the season, June's family holds an intervention for her, which she isn't very receptive to at all, and she storms out. Psychiatrist Dr. Ish tries to stop her and convince her to do inpatient care, but she doesn't want to do it because she doesn't want to be away from Gino in fear of him cheating on her more. She ultimately decides to go, but then checks out 12 hours later. 2 days later, she gets arrested for crack cocaine possession with Gino. By the very end of the season, Pumpkin and Josh get temporary custody over Alana, which Jennifer and Sugar Bear are surprisingly cooperative about. So in season 4, there's a pretty big shift in things. The show is renamed from Mama June from Not to Hot to Mama June Family in Crisis. So June is well and truly into her addiction and she desperately needs money to feed her addiction. She sells pretty much everything in her house as well as her house. She's placing her belongings, Alana's belongings, and Pumpkin's belongings on Facebook Marketplace to get every cent that she can possibly get.
Mike, look, I just got a text.
Yeah?
It says, oh my God, look on social media. Mama June is selling everything in her house, all the girls' stuff. Check it out. Oh my God, she looks awful. Tooth missing, hair all messed up, all different colors.
And in the 4th season, Jessica is fully back. She makes a couple of appearances in previous seasons, but she doesn't get any sort of significant airtime or any sort of plot line. She's just kind of sucked up in the turmoil that June has created. But in season 4, she has a much bigger presence, and then she later opens up about how she's just back for the money.
Like the rest of my family, I don't like being in front of the camera, but I need the money, so I just need to suck it up and smile.
A notable moment for her was when June pawned the title of her car for drug money.
Mama pawned the title on my car, so I got repossessed.
What? Are you serious?
So yeah, she literally pretty much sold everything she possibly could. But then it's later revealed that one of the only things that she didn't sell was Alana's pageant trophies.
This was the only thing that she actually kept that maybe meant something to her, which, okay.
Those are your trophies. That's it.
That's it. That was it. She didn't sell me.
Oh.
Even though that gave Alana and her family a glimmer of hope that Mama June was still in there, it didn't stop Alana from being any less affected by it. Alana acts up on social media and pretends to snort crack cocaine.
Yeah, but this is a big deal. This is like serious stuff.
I mean, but it was a joke.
And then Josh takes her to work an actual day job because if she continues to play up and do things like that on social media, she may lose her celebrity status and actually have to work a day job. So Alana, Pumpkin, Josh, and their daughter Ella all have to move out of the house that they're staying in and then move into a hotel because June being involved in drug stuff is putting them in danger. And Jennifer finds out about this and is not happy about it. Despite being initially cooperative about giving Pumpkin custody of Alana, she has a change of heart and she wants custody of Alana.
And with that being said, we have filed for full custody of Alana.
But Jennifer and Sugar Bear do not get custody.
That bitch.
You bitch!
That's why I have custody.
No,
That's
you
why I
got
have
temporary custody. All we gotta do is take your ass to court and you shut up! Get in the car and leave, like you always do!
Yeah, because he's a piece of that's why
Yeah,
I
but you
y'all.
are too, honey! You're the biggest piece of there is! You go on somewhere else!
What the hell? We're not playing nice. I knew gonna happen. I mean, that bitch ain't gonna sit there and talk to you like that. I promise you that.
Towards the end of the season, June is trying to get better and agrees to do a drug test. But it tests positive to cocaine and she agrees to go to rehab. But she quit a day later. The cycle then repeats again where she agrees to go to rehab and then quits. She is then convinced to go to rehab again and the season is left on a good note because this time she completes her stay. In season 5, things start to look on the brighter side. While things start off kind of rocky, they get better towards the middle of the season. We get the outcome of June and Gino's arrest at the gas station for crack cocaine possession. June has to do 100 hours of community service, and Gino is sentenced to 16 months of community corrections. June had actually pressed domestic violence charges against Gino, but then later took them back, and she wishes that she hadn't done that. She cuts Gino off at the courthouse when he is getting sentenced, and then she goes to live with Pumpkin. This season, Sugar Bear also tries to mend his relationship with Alana, but he doesn't get Jennifer involved this time because she always starts drama. But this causes Jennifer to get suspicious of where Sugar Bear is.
What the hell are you doing here? Why are you wearing flip-flops?
Had a pedicure.
Way the hell up here. Who you with?
Nobody.
What kind of stupid idiot do you think I am? You're with June. I know she's up here in this part of the country, and you're coming out of a nail salon close to where she's at?
It's actually revealed later in the season, kind of without warning, that Jennifer and Sugar Bear got divorced. We never really saw what happened, they kind of just disappeared. But this is what Jennifer had to say on her Facebook account about what happened. He cheated on me more than once. Me and Mike has been in a bad spot for several years. Just a lot of putting up with each other to finish a contract. Year and a half ago, he got put out of house because of cheating. In the second half of the season, Pumpkin throws Alana a Sweet 16 party where she secretly invites Alana's crush, Draylon, and those two actually end up becoming boyfriend and girlfriend. June also gets a new boyfriend named Justin Stroud. They met on TikTok in 2021 and then later secretly got married in March 2022. But right on cue, as this new man comes into her life, she becomes once again distant with her children. And instead of taking Alana in when she becomes clean, she agrees to give Pumpkin and Josh full custody of Alana. But when they go to court to process the paperwork, child support comes up. And June does not want to pay child support. She figured that handing over full custody to Pumpkin would mean that she wouldn't have to do anything for Alana. And to see June say that completely shocked me. Seeing someone who was once so family oriented willing to just take her name off her daughter's birth certificate so she didn't have to pay some child support was just pretty sad to me. And at the end of the show, it pretty much seemed like she didn't have much to do with her kids. Anyway, June and Pumpkin didn't come to a compromise, so it had to get escalated to court. In court, Pumpkin and Josh are granted sole custody of Alana, and June is ordered to pay $800 in child support every month. And that is where things are currently up to in the show. But in terms of more recent updates that took place outside of the show, Sugar Bear is now in a new relationship, and he follows in suit of June and Jennifer and gets a makeup of his own. He gets new teeth and dyes his beard and looks completely unrecognizable. As for June, it seems like the cycle of the kind of men that she lets into her life only continued because Justin, her new husband, was arrested for past drug-related charges. And then he was released a month later. In May 2022, Pumpkin gave birth to twins, and Alana is still living with Pumpkin and Josh. And there's even a little update for Jessica. In August 2022, she came out and is now in a relationship with a girl. And aside from all of that, these days you'll probably find them on TikTok doing a live stream.
And we need 3 gifts, 3 roses from 3 different people, guys. 3 different roses, 3 gifts, 3 roses from 3 different people, guys.
Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Don't forget to drink water, be nice to animals. Let's take a moment of silence for everyone who has to deal with Karens. And I'll see you in my next video.